Hello, my name is host Eric, and I am the host of Talking with Famous People. And tonight I have a very special guest. It's a concrete noun, one of my very favorite kind of flowers. The lily is here. Hello, can you tell me, how is your experience growing up beside other flowers such as roses and dandelions? I'm joking. I joke.
Okay.
All right, so Lily, I'm going to now begin a personality test, and I'm going to ask you some questions, and I'm going to give myself 10 questions only, and I'm going to try to determine your personality based on your answers for these 10 questions. Are you ready?
Yeah, sure.
Question number 1. I want you to imagine the following thing. You wake up in the morning. You went to bed as far as you know, just like normal last night, but you wake up in the morning, you're dressed in unfamiliar pajamas. You're lying on a dirt floor in a tunnel. It's very dim, but there is some light. You notice no light bulbs around you, but there's some sort of glowing algae on the walls or something that makes it slightly light in there. Now, as you peer down the hallway a little bit, you hear an echoey sound of some crying and what sounds like it could be boots stomping or maybe like somebody chopping lumber. You're not really sure. It's very echoey. Now you can go towards the sound, or you can go the other way down this tunnel, which is away from the sound, or you can do something else. Would you like to do first?
Well, first of all, I probably end up freaking out, then calming down, and then take some of the algae.
Okay, stop. Okay, so you go over to the wall to examine the algae and to get some. You'll notice that, in fact, if you scrape, you could get about probably a handful with about maybe 15 minutes of work. It's spread very diffusely, but you do notice that if you were to work at it, you could probably gather a handful of it. Would you like to proceed on doing that?
Say that one more time.
I said, so you examine the algae. It's spread out very thinly and diffusely across the wall. However, you've determined that if you spend 15 or 30 minutes, more time than you expected, but still not a huge amount of time, you could successfully gather about a handful of the algae. Would you like to proceed on doing that?
Yes.
Okay. So you get the algae. You have it now in your hand. Your hand is full of algae. You feel its squishy goodness in your hand and say, I like the feel of this algae. It's got a good squishy body to it. What would you like to do now?
If it has a good enough amount of light, then I would go down the hallway where the crying or lumberjack or
Okay, so you go towards the sound. And your path is slightly more well lit. It was already well lit enough from the algae on the wall, but now you have decreased your chance of stumbling by about 10%. So yeah, that's good. You improved your safety there. All right, so you go down the hall and you get closer and closer to this sound, and you look around the corner and you notice that there's a woman with long black hair, and she's wearing Daisy Duke shorts, and she's wearing a red sport blazer like Nancy Reagan used to wear, and she's wearing flip-flops. And she is sobbing hysterically, just, oh my God, like that. Now, the sound, the popping sound, the ka, ka, has gotten louder too, but you realize that's farther past her, like maybe, I don't know, a ways down the hall still. You can't see what it is. If to get to that sound, you're going to have to walk past this lady, or you can try to approach the lady and communicate with her, or you can go back the other way, or something else. What do you do?
depends on if she's scary looking.
Well, I described her as best I can. You may choose now to ask any additional information if you'd like.
Is she really ugly?
She's got her hands covering her face because she's crying, and you can't really see what her face looks like. Maybe if you went and rubbed some algae on her.
I
Oh my god.
I'd probably end up sneaking past her, trying really hard not
Okay,
to.
so you try to sneak past her, but as you get closer to where the hallway would proceed, she starts almost, it doesn't appear to be trying to, but her rocking from her sobbing starts moving her closer and closer and closer to where your path will be. And you're trying to be quiet because she hasn't seen you, from all you can tell. But it looks like to get past her, you're going to either run into her or have to brush her because she's now standing right in the middle and you can't quite get around her without touching her.
Hmm.
But she still has given no indication that she's noticed you. Would you like to try to get around her anyway, with the possibility you might brush her, but you probably could, maybe if you time it right, get past her without brushing her? Or would you like to not take that chance, go back the other direction, or something else?
Let's take the chance.
Okay, so you try to get past her, but unfortunately, right as you're about to start past her, you realize she reaches out and grabs you by the arm. Now she takes her other hand away from her face, and she pulls you towards her and screams, "What are you doing here?" What do you do? What do you do?
Oh my god.
I'd run. I would kick her
Oh,
in the
Okay, so
nonads and run.
you successfully kick her and break out of her. Do you run towards the sound or the other back way you came?
The other way that I came.
Okay, so you're terrified at this point. So you're sprinting, and before you realize it, you've passed where you woke up, and you find yourself in a big room, and there's a table, and there's 3 people sitting there, and they're all writing on clipboards. And they say, "Oh, hello, are you stuck down here too?" What do you say?
What do I say?
Yeah.
Um, I'd probably ask a lot of questions, saying why am I here? Like, what is
We
this?
don't, we
What
don't
is
know
this?
either. We're stuck down here too. But good news, we found a box of clipboards. Okay, that's the end of the test. That's the end of the test. All right. So,
Oh my god.
so
Bravo.
now that test was entertaining, but I don't know if I learned anything from it, except that I like to make funny tests. Guys, can you turn on your cameras now? Other than
Yeah.
cameraless one. So first of all, let me ask you, Lily, how was your experience of that test? What did you think about that test? How did it feel taking it?
It was very exciting.
Did
It
you
was very funny.
did you feel as though you did you feel at any point as though you wanted more choices, for example, or that the test wasn't treating you fairly?
I think that it wasn't really treating me fairly, I believe.
Okay. During the test was there a certain point where you thought to yourself, "Hey," like that at all, or you're just sort of like, "Well, whatever. It's tell me more about this. I want to hear it."
It's just pretty much like, oh, well, these are my options. I gotta go with them, but don't like them. But
With
whatever.
if you if you found yourself in a real life situation, which is much more common than that, something like you're in a workplace situation and there's conflict between coworkers that doesn't involve you, but they're both trying to get you on their side. Coworkers or I don't know if you're a student, maybe classmates or something. How would you be likely to deal with that? Would you want to stay out
I'd
of
be
it?
like,
I'm sorry, say again.
oh, I wasn't saying anything. I'd probably ask, what are you guys fighting about? And then I would see both sides, and if they both are wrong or or they're fighting over a ridiculous thing, I'd be like, you know what? Fuck this shit, I'm out.
You'd
Fuck
bail.
this shit, I'm out.
You'd bail. See, you said if they're both wrong, see, they're both trying to get you on their side. When you say you're going to bail, does that mean you're just going to say, I'm not participating in this at all anymore, so you guys figure it out yourselves? Or does it mean, like, you guys are cut from my life?
Figure it out for themselves.
Okay. Would the next day, let's say they're still fighting, would that affect your, but they're not trying to involve you at all anymore, would that still affect your relationship with them?
No, it'd probably give me some stress, though, because it's like, oh, well, if they're friends with me, then it'd probably give me a lot of stress, but I'd still be like, okay.
Why would it give you stress? Would you feel as though you had some responsibility to fix it, or just that they're interfering with your ability to enjoy their company, or what?
Probably the first one that you just said.
Okay. If you were tasked with something, a logistics thing, such as, listen, we're putting on an event on Tuesday, and we need you to put this thing together. Here's your staff. You've got a bunch of these people here, and we need to make sure you have got all these things attended to. Now, this is what the event is. It's a library book festival. It's a festival of books. We're going to bring down a lot of different books. We're going to put some books in the children's section, some romance books, some mystery books, some detective novels. And I need you to organize it in a sensible fashion and get everybody, all the workers, positioned. What's your thought process in beginning this project? You only got 24 hours to get the whole thing put together. They just would have said, here you are, and here's your staff. You got 30 people in a room and says, go to it, do something. What do you do with that? If you heard all that, I see you say you're lagging.
I did not hear that. I'm so sorry.
Okay, I basically asked you, if you were suddenly thrown a task, now there's a great compensation, so you accept it. They're going to pay you $1 million to do this job if you can pull it off. You've got to successfully organize the Festival of Books for the library, and the Festival of Books requires you to both organize all the books that are going to be sold and organize all the people who are going to be involved in the processes of the putting on the book festival. Can you describe to me your mental process in tackling this job and trying to get the $1 million?
Oh dear.
Time is ticking, with 24 hours remaining. Will Lily, Faith's friend, be able to successfully put on the Festival of Books? Let's find out.
Oh God.
I think she's definitely introverted.
I don't know. Hold on.
Yeah.
Okay, well, I guess so. What do you think? The whole Festival of Books community is counting on you.
I do it the best that I can, but I don't know how to explain what I would do.
Well, what would you do first? You've been put in a room. They say, here you go. You've got a crowd of people sitting there waiting to hear what you have to say, and you've also got a bunch of books and a bunch of materials and a bunch of like organizational supplies, like file cabinets and all kinds of shit like that. And they say, here, make it happen. What do you deal with first?
The books.
The books themselves. Okay.
No, I would deal with the people first. I'd be like, okay, you guys, fiction, you guys go to this side, and then they do the rest, and then I'll just sit down and read.
Okay. Cool.
Everybody do it.
All right. So Zach, Tony, is this person who's on the camera the same person who's speaking or a different person?
No, that's Faith. And
This
the
is
one.
Faith, and the other one is Lily. Okay, gotcha.
Oh.
Faith will be right with you. We're just finishing up with Lily here. Tony, Zachary, I'd love to get your input on Lily's type without a lot of explanation. Just give us a guess, then let's do Faith. Let's get our guesses down, then let's do the analysis so that Faith doesn't hear this analysis and get influenced by it.
Okay.
Tony, what's your guess? I'll give you mine too, but
What? Okay, I don't think Lily knows her type though, which is.
that's fine. I want us each to have our guess. We should like write down our guess before we hear the other person's guess, and we should all see what we each guess independently. Okay, so I'm writing down my guess right now.
All right, mine's written down.
What do you got, Tony? You go first.
I got INTP.
What do you got, Zach?
INTP.
I got ISTJ.
Really?
That's my second guess, actually.
All right, so anyway, we'll discuss what that might mean, Lily, after we talk to Faith and get an interview for her. Faith, how's your internet connection? You seem to be fine. Can we hear you speak, please?
Hi. If it's okay.
Okay, well, we've got lag issues. I'm gonna turn off. The three of us. Let's all turn off our cameras just so we can see how our bandwidth is at best. Okay, and mute our mics for a second, and then we'll see how. Okay, can you talk now, please, Faith, so we can hear how you are with the best bandwidth we can get you?
Hello? Hello?
Can you say, "I pledge allegiance to the flag"? Can you pledge allegiance,
It
please?
definitely improved.
Can you say the Pledge of Allegiance, please? So we can hear. I can hear you talking for longer.
The flag of the United States of America and to the Republic of the land. Okay, is that enough?
Yeah, that's fine. That's fine. Okay. All right. Let's try this for sure. I'd like to try it.
Yeah.
Okay. So I'm gonna start the record. I'm gonna try it with my camera on, I guess. And then after I ask you a few questions, I think I'm gonna pass it over to Tony, and then he can pass it to Zach for the last couple of questions. How about that? I think I was supposed to do that last time and forgot. I don't know. Here we go.
Okay.